Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Curious Minds ALE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player himself representing Team Super. It is TheZergLord. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Curious Minds ALE, we have the King of Pain himself, the Brazilian Protoss player representing Amantes de StarCraft. It is MasTeR. If you're in the chat and if you're from Brazil, you are winning today. Regardless of who is our champion, he will be from the land of Brazil. But who exactly will it be? That is what we're about to find out. Oh boy. Overall, I do kind of still consider the TheZergLord to be a little bit of a higher ranked, higher placed player, but MasTeR has been getting a lot of really impressive results. MasTeR even beat the TheZergLord a couple of weeks ago, so it is well within his ability to do so. We'll see what kind of approach MasTeR has in this matchup. Obviously, last year it was all about the sky toss, but this year it has been all about the ground toss. After the Queen nerf, after the Void Ray nerf, ground toss has been very prevalent. Not even just ground toss, but even, you know, Stargate openers into Phoenixes. Hero has been using them to great effect as well. So what has MasTeR been doing? How has MasTeR been adapting? I'm not saying that it's impossible to go double Stargate Void Ray, but it's just not very popular nowadays. It's just not in the meta. Because it's just not as good as it once was. Oh boy, it has kind of been figured out in a way. So we'll see what he opens with, as so far everything has been pretty standard from both of our players. MasTeR did deny the natural base, forces the TheZergLord to take the unnatural natural. Not the biggest of deals unless we have Glaive Adepts. We'll see. Just forcing the TheZergLord's life to be a little bit more annoying. Bit of a harder life. Oh boy. We'll see, as so far MasTeR is opening up with a Stargate. Again, this doesn't necessarily signify Sky Toss. It doesn't have to be Void Ray into a second Stargate, but it still could be. We'll see. As I know a lot of other players have been enjoying their time with Oracle openers, sometimes even triple Oracle openers, as the TheZergLord does go for a bit of a Ling Scout. His 2 Lings will be able to slip into the main base speedless. They get through, and he confirms the Stargate. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the TheZergLord has actually cut a lot of workers. We have a very fast Roach Warren. Oh my god, he is going for a Roach all-in. Now suddenly taking this triangular third is a good thing. Creep is suddenly being spread that much faster here. It is a much more forward location. It's being used as a launch pad to send all these roaches across the map. Unfortunately, there is a Void Ray on the way. MasTeR hasn't scouted anything, but he does scout the lack of drones. This is honestly pretty significant. I hope he puts 2 and 2 together. There are very few drones here, and there we go. Shield battery immediately thrown down. We need more. We need a full wall up here, and at the moment there is a massive gaping hole in this wall. Void Rays are king defensively, but we need more than that. Here we go. Second shield battery on the way, second pylon on the way. We have a full wall up here. All MasTeR has to do is defend. But the Lings are on the way. The Roaches are already here knocking on the front door. Again, this is the advantage of Curious Minds. Curious Minds is a very, very small map. Oh boy, and the push is already here. The Void Ray is trying to focus down these Roaches, but the Roaches are being morphed into Ravagers. At least one of them is. Lings are trying to force their way in as well, but the shield batteries have finished up and they're keeping the pylon alive. And I don't know, it looks like the pylon will eventually go down. Where's the overcharge? Where's the overcharge? Papi, no! There was no overcharge. There wasn't enough energy. The second shield battery was not keeping the pylon alive. The TheZergLord will focus down every single pylon here. Everything will get depowered. And now, just like that, the TheZergLord forces his way in. Now there are 2 Void Rays, and the Void Rays will eventually clean all of this up. But damage is being done. Workers are falling, but the TheZergLord needs to deal more damage. Lings are flooding in. Lings will not stop flooding in. He has to get probe kills. And he goes all the way into the main base. Again, exclamation mark for nada MasTeR, because MasTeR had 2 shield batteries here doing nothing. They had to target the pylon. They had to keep it up and running. They had to keep it alive. But MasTeR, he just, again, he just slipped up a little bit. Every single pylon is going down. MasTeR, with a massive supply block, only has 2 Void Rays to deal with this. And I think it's not going to be enough. The Lings are just too much. Probes are falling left and right. The TheZergLord, he just keeps going in. To be fair, he hasn't dealt enough damage yet. He has to deal more. He focuses on the pylon instead. And again, it's important to just keep MasTeR in check. MasTeR's kind of defending though. He's holding on. The Lings, the flood of Lings is now a trickle. Like, the Lings that are coming in just aren't that threatening anymore. And the pylons are finishing up. The shield batteries are finishing up. If these gates get repowered, MasTeR holds. He's holding. Oh, but at the same time, probes are falling in the main base. Oh, a little bit of a slip up here from MasTeR. Lings keep flooding in. They're not stopping. Oh my god, do we have Warp Gate? We do have Warp Gate. MasTeR has to warp in. There we go. We do have a couple of Stalkers being warped in. The wall is a wall. And the shield batteries are keeping the Stalkers alive. MasTeR lost arguably too many workers here. More than he should have. But he is forcing the TheZergLord to back off and drone up. And now that's it. GG. MasTeR. Oh. That was a chaotic defense. He almost didn't pull it off. He was losing a little bit too many probes there. But because he realized what was happening, because he got those 2 Void Rays out, that is all he needed to defend. And he knew, or the TheZergLord knew, that he could not defend at home against 2 Void Rays. It was going to be too much. GG. MasTeR takes a 1-0 lead. I see Maffer in the chat. Brazil rules. Let's go. Oh, God. Yeah, I mean, what more can I say? They took down Ryu and they took down Paco Mike. You know, like, I can't really... I cannot argue or contest that Brazil is the MVP here in this Sentimiento Latino. Wasn't an easy road for them. Now we're getting into game 2. Oh, boy. Yeah, very great defense there by MasTeR. A key part of that defense is the fact that he went for the Adept across the map and he confirmed the lack of drones. Immediately, he knew what was happening and he was immediately throwing down shield batteries. All he had to do was defend without losing too many probes. And I was worried that he was going to start losing too many of those probes towards the end, because he did. But he got his pylons up and running at the natural base. He was able to wall off in the end. And just like that, game 1 is in his bag. And now, we are diving straight into game number 2 on 2,000 atmospheres, and I have to wonder that we're going to see a much more standard game. But again, the TheZergLord isn't a standard player. He's one of the most aggressive Zerg players in our region. If he can all in you, he will. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE. We have the player who went for the Ling Roach all in the flood in game 1, and it did not work. He is down in this series, but not out. It is a best of 5 grand finals. It is the Brazilian Zerg player representing Team Super. It is the TheZergLord. And spawning in the top right hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres LE, we have the other Brazilian player. We have the Brazilian Protoss player representing Amantes de StarCraft. He is the king of pain. He is MasTeR. Oh boy. Let's go. It's a very solid defense there, but we didn't really get to see much of MasTeR's overall play. He wasn't able to execute the original build that he wanted to. We did see a Stargate opener, but that is basically it. After that, it was all reactive play from our Protoss player. Oh boy. Meanwhile, Hatch Gas Pool from the TheZergLord. Once again, he was forced to take the unnatural natural. So again, going to be a little bit more annoyed here. Is this going to trigger the TheZergLord to go for another Roach all-in? I hope not. Curious Minds is one of the better maps to do it on. I say one of the better. The advantage of doing it on 2,000 atmospheres is that there is no ramp at the natural. So you could argue maybe it's a little bit easier to push up the ramp and to execute. but at the same time, the rush distance is longer. There's a bit of a give and take there, a bit of a give and take. Meanwhile, MasTeR, once again, everything pretty standard. Everything is here at home. I imagine we're going to see a Stargate opener because, again, I'm sure he wanted to play a certain way in Game 1 and he couldn't. So he's going to try and pull it off here in Game 2. We'll just have to wait and see after the Cybercore does finish up. Meanwhile, the probe is still here across the map, being as annoying as possible. The TheZergLord did pull out of gas, so only got enough for that Ling speed. He is not continuing to mine that gas for a Roach Warren. So you can see that he is not going for another all-in. And MasTeR did in fact go for the Stargate. It's kind of what we expected, to be honest. It is quite standard in current meta. But now that there aren't roaches running into his face and trying to bust down his door, maybe MasTeR will go for an Oracle instead, or even a Phoenix. Void Ray isn't necessary. As MasTeR is going to be going across the map with his Adept, just like the previous game. Oh, okay, just faking out the shade for the time being, waiting for the second Adept. Once you have 2 Adepts, you can one-shot those workers. Of course, I'm sure he wants to just keep one at home to make sure that his defenses are solid. There is a gap in the wall, but at least there is a unit. Adept moves out across the map, and the goal of this Adept is to get an eye on the drone count and to get an eye on the third base. Again, to make sure that there is no all-in. And he confirms, you have indeed been droning. Feels good, man. Feels good. Meanwhile, he did open up with a Void Ray first, so going to be focusing on denying vision. The Void Ray is going to kill this Overlord. I'd be surprised if we see a second Void Ray. Again, it just isn't really a popular thing nowadays, and there we go, it is going to be an Oracle. Looking at the vision of the TheZergLord, he does indeed see the second unit being built from the Stargate, so the TheZergLord knows that it is going to be an Oracle follow-up, and we should be seeing some spores shortly. There we go, first spore there at the third base. In the main, the TheZergLord is being greedy because he has 2 queens, so instead of wasting a drone to make a spore, he's going to be relying on queens to defend. Again, this is kind of a corner that you cut, and it can be abused, or you can get away with it. It's all about your control, it's all about the Zerg player's positioning. Meanwhile, here we go. Oracle is zooming across the map. It looks like it's making a beeline for that natural base, but again, we have 2 queens here, so the TheZergLord should be fine. Oracle dips around, confirms the Roach Warren, and yeah, there are now 3 queens. Oracle doesn't deal any damage, but the Oracle stays alive, so it's not like the Oracle has been a waste. The Oracle can always dip back in, throw down the stasis trap, and tag the army. There is a lot of utility with the Oracle. As it meets up with the rest of the army, 1 Void Ray and 2 Adept, we're trying to get some damage done. We do get 2 drones, but we have to be careful not to overextend. The queens are here, the Void Ray sustaining a lot of damage. Ooh, but MasTeR doesn't commit, and overall, this is a good thing. MasTeR got 2 drones, forced some units, and backs off. And we can see after the initial 2 units here from the Stargate, he goes straight into a Twilight Council, and he is going for Glaive Adepts, but also going for a Forge. So this is not the most committed Glaive Adepts. Obviously, there's no Robo, there's no Warp Prism, and there are only 4 gateways, so these Glaive Adepts are just to go across the map and deal damage. They are not designed to end the game. As we have a third base behind this, and we're probing up. So again, this is just to harass, force units, make the Zerg player uncomfortable. If the Zerg player is too greedy, they will just die to this, but the TheZergLord, he's good enough where he shouldn't die to this. I will say that. As the Adepts are trying to shade into the natural base, so we have a full wall up here. The TheZergLord was prepared. And again, we're just going to see shade after shade at the same time. Stasis trap here at the third base. Nicely done here by the TheZergLord. He does pull away 1 drone to bait it out. Meanwhile, the Adepts are looking to shade into that natural, continuing to force the Evo chamber. And behind this, +1 is on the way. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Blink or Charge. You could go one or the other here if you are the Protoss player. Another stasis trap in the main base at the same time. 2 Adepts do shade into the third, and ooh, 2 Adepts get a lot of damage done. 6 drones go down. 2 Adepts more than paid for themselves. Meanwhile, the Oracle dipped in. The Oracle saw the Spire! Did he click on it though? As the Spire has been spotted. I don't know if the TheZergLord, if MasTeR actually noticed it though. We do have a Stargate, but no Phoenixes yet. It looks like the ZergLord wants to end, sorry, MasTeR wants to end the game early. War Prism is on the way. We have a Gateway Explosion. MasTeR is going to be very aggressive shortly. But he's not preparing himself up for mutas. And he's still making probes, so I'm getting mixed signals here. On top of that, even though we see Stalkers, I think MasTeR forgot Blink. I'll be honest. I was talking about it earlier. Usually we see Blink or Charge, and we see none. I think MasTeR may have forgotten. As it would have been done by now, to be honest, if he had started it straight away. Here we go. Across the map comes this Blinks or this Stalker push. Adepts commit to the Shade. Questionable move here. Ideally, they'd be better suited with all of their Stalkers, but they're getting some decent drone kills. Meanwhile, here we go. The Stalkers are pushing in towards that 4th base. One Queen gets sniped, but the Roach Ravager is here to meet this. And again, without Blink, the things that these Stalkers can do are quite limited. He noticed! Blink is on the way! Chrono as well! It was a mistake. I was wondering if it was intentional or not, but no, it was a mistake here from MasTeR. Is it going to cost him? The Void Ray does get targeted down. The Roach Ravager is trying to force its way in towards all of these Stalkers. Are there enough Stalkers to hold on? It seems like maybe there are. Again, this would have been so much easier with Blink. He wins the trade anyway. But more roaches are on the way. 17 roaches in production. Can the Stalkers get a Blink forward would have been amazing to clear up all these Ravagers. He's gonna get some of them anyway, but he's gonna be forced all the way back. With Blink, these Stalkers could have ended the game. 100%, mate. 100%. Oh, the Ravagers get close enough. They're gonna bow down the Prism. Prism goes down. And the ZergLord, he doesn't just defend, he's also looking to go for a counterattack. Behind this, MasTeR is trying to get a 4th base up and running. The ZergLord doesn't have enough momentum, he doesn't go all the way. Oh god. But MasTeR, not like this. At least he's on top of his upgrades. +2 is on the way, it is being chronoed out. He's working on Immortals as well, so he's working on a decent army against Roach Ravager. But again, it's decent, it's not ideal. Ideally, we would have a Robotics Bay and maybe even Disruptor production. Double Robo Disruptor even. And that would have been the case if MasTeR had this 4th base up a little bit faster. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the drone counts are honestly pretty even, which is a good thing for MasTeR. Like, the ZergLord doesn't have an amazing economy, but he still has a very large army. As we see a tag being thrown down on the Roach Ravager. MasTeR getting good eyes on it just in case the ZergLord decides to push out. Meanwhile, 4th base is actually being established. This is a pretty crucial moment here for our Protoss player. If they get this 4th base saturated, like, that's a game changer. Especially because the ZergLord has been neglecting his economy. We should have seen a 5th base by now. We should have seen a fully saturated 4th by now. The ZergLord is really lacking in drones. Oh boy. So MasTeR is slowly catching up. Blink is now done. There's that Robotics Bay we were talking about to get into Disruptors. We are still lacking the 2nd Robo, so again, still not the most ideal tech or production available for MasTeR. MasTeR pushes deep onto Creep, but he will be able to blink away. Still being chased down, actually. Oh my god, the Lings are getting surrounds! And at the same time, we have another Baneling run by here at the 3rd base. Doesn't get the probes. Oh my god, the probes just barely survived. Nice reaction there by MasTeR, as MasTeR once again defends. God, I'm getting anxious though. We really need a 2nd Robo. Disruptors are nice. They're even better when you get a lot of them. Not even just Disruptors, but Colossus as well. Neo was talking about it in our previous cast, but Colossus have a place here against Ling Bane. You know, getting a nice balance of Colossus and Disruptors can be beneficial here against Ground Zerg, against Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Meanwhile, we have another bit of a Ling run by, a Baneling run by even, a Waddle by. Ooh, does detonate there with those pylons. Will not get into the mineral line. Not yet, not yet. Pylons are going to be repositioned. Meanwhile, the ZergLord is going for a 5th base finally, but we're in a weird position where MasTeR has more workers than the ZergLord. This should not be happening. This cannot be happening. Ay, ay, ay. If only MasTeR's production could keep up with his economy. Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of a Bane run by here at the third base. The wall is not a wall, though. He's going for the third. Not like this. At the same time, the main army is posturing outside the fourth. Bailey, oh no, there's no reaction. The entire mineral line will go down. Thankfully, MasTeR can afford to lose probes right now. He's still only behind by 5 workers. He's okay. Meanwhile, there's a lot of banelings here. We need a second robo. God damn it, MasTeR. God damn it. Not like this. We need more disruptors, papi. First, the second disruptor is coming out. But we have the counter to disruptors, and that is Vipers. The TheZergLord may have been tunnel visioning a little bit when it comes to his economy, but not when it comes to his tech. Vipers are the direct counter to disruptors, and to stop them, we need something else, whether it's Sky Toss, Stalkers being in position help as well, more importantly, High Templar with those feedbacks. But we don't see that at all. Meanwhile, both armies are maxing out. The first Nova goes up! Ooh! Massive detonation there on top of all those banelings. Oh my god. And just like that, the MasTeR, he keeps pushing in. At the same time, we see a Bane run by, but it doesn't get into the mineral line. Only 6 probes go down. We are not equal in workers. Meanwhile, in come those Vipers. They do get some yoinks off, and they do get both of those disruptors. No more Novas remaining. The force fields are looking pretty good, but the banelings just keep on rolling in. There's just so many banelings on the ground. They find their connections with all of the Protoss. And now the Immortals are left for dead. The TheZergLord takes a great fight. He remaxes with roaches. He bows down the prism. And there's just nothing left for MasTeR. He's trying to remax, but with only a single rover, he cannot make enough units in time. Would you have a bit of a flanking disruptor, which could help? Does get 1 Ravager. MasTeR is looking to defend, but again, he's just lacking the production. Look at the bank. He just cannot keep up. The wave of roaches are just too much here for the TheZergLord. He keeps on plowing on forward. We do have an overcharge available here for MasTeR, so maybe he can hold on. Oh my god. Decent target fire. He actually gets the Ravagers. Like, this is not a bad fight. Oh no! Throws away another disruptor. And after all said and done, the supplies are looking similar, but the tech is still looking better for the TheZergLord. This would be even better though if he had a better worker count. Honestly, it's the workers that are killing him. Like, look at this. He doesn't have the gases here at his 4th. Finally, he's taking them. He doesn't have the gases at his 5th either. It's the lack of gas that is really killing the TheZergLord. You can see a massive mineral bank, but just really struggling in the gas income. And that is keeping MasTeR in this game. Oh my god, the Nova goes off. Oh, it gets denied by the Abduct. Oh my god, banelings just keep on rolling in. And this may just be it. The base is going to go down. All the workers as well. MasTeR trying to expand towards his opponent. Another disruptor goes off. With a blink forward, maybe MasTeR can defend. It looks like he will, but at the cost of his Nexus. Bile, Bobby, Bile. There it is. The Biles are there. The Nexus falls. And that may just be it. Meanwhile, it looks like MasTeR has recognized he threw down 2 more robos. So he has now triple robo production, but it's too little too late. This would have been great earlier. This would have been great 5 minutes ago. Not now. Meanwhile, he's still trying to trade his heart out. Oh my god, but GG gets called, and the TheZergLord ties up the series 1-1. Oh, GG. Oh. What a game. What a game. They're very close, very back and forth, but MasTeR, he was lacking a little bit there with his own production, so he never really had any momentum. It took him a really long time to max out as well, despite having the superior economy. And the TheZergLord, he was able to whittle away at what the Protoss had. Take game 1. Takes it. And here we go. We are now getting ready for game number 3, and this is really going to start to distinguish our two players. One of them will be able to take a lead here. As a reminder, it's a best of 5, so we still have at least 2 more games to go. But I feel like this is probably the most, this is the deciding factor here when it comes to how this series will progress. Oh boy. Here we go. Ah. As we are leading into game 3, and it looks like game 3 is going to take place here in Berlingrad. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the Brazilian Zerg player himself representing Team Super, tying up the series 1-1, now looking to take a lead in said series. It is the TheZergLord. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad LE, we have the King of Pain himself representing Amantes de StarCraft, the Brazilian Protoss. It is MasTeR. The Brasileiro himself. Or I believe in Portuguese, Brasileño, I think. Oh, God. Here we go. And again, my eyes, for the most part, are on the TheZergLord. MasTeR had some pretty standard play going into ground toss. And I feel like that's what we should be seeing here on Berlingrad as well. This is a really risky map to try and go sky toss in. To be fair, queen walks are no longer a thing, so it's hard to like make queen walks happen here and go for these early pushes. But we've seen that like Roach Ling Floods are things that the TheZergLord is more than willing to partake in. Oh. Meanwhile, hello, buenos dias to ARJ Skater in the chat. I just got home. Welcome, papi, welcome to the grand finals. It's been a pretty intense tournament today. Pretty intense brackets, a lot of big names, a lot of upsets. Again, MasTeR beating Pocket Mike and the TheZergLord beating Ryu. Both players really proving themselves and really earning their spots in the grand finals. Oh. We'll see if they can keep this up. As so far, again, standard openers, MasTeR once again did deny the natural, so force the unnatural natural. We should see a Stargate opener once again. Talking about the previous game a little bit, the Glaive Adepts didn't necessarily play for themselves. There were just a couple of like mistakes there from MasTeR. Like again, imagine that first push from MasTeR if he had Blink, right? Imagine if he had Blink. It would have been. He may have ended the game. He would have 100% killed the 4th base. Like, it would have been a completely different game. Just slipping MasTeR's mind a little bit there. And maybe it's nerves. We all know that MasTeR is a great player, and he's better than that. So, knowing that he's here in the grand finals, nerves may be playing a factor, to be honest. Like, because MasTeR is inexperienced or less experienced compared to a player like the TheZergLord, like Eggs, like Ryu, all these other more established players. So MasTeR gonna have to be shaking that rust off, mate. We cannot afford these mistakes in the finals. As we have a Stargate opener, and I like this a lot more than the Void Ray first. We see an Oracle opener here from MasTeR. The Void Ray in current meta is just designed to clear out Overlords and deny scouting. But we saw last game that even though we went for a Void Ray first, the Overlord was still able to scout the follow-up Oracle anyway, so may as well just go Oracle first if you want to deal damage. And so far, the TheZergLord hasn't gone in. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what's happening. And we have a triple Oracle opener. 2 for now, but I imagine we're going to see a 3rd. Meanwhile, the Oracles are moving out. They do get spotted by the Scatterlings, so the ZergLord is well aware. Queens are being repositioned here. Spores are on the way. Is it going to be in time as the first Oracle hits? And already forces a Spore. A little bit of indirect damage. Not bad, not bad. But again, the first Oracle isn't about damage. It's about the second Oracle, as we do have that second Oracle already out. Third Oracle is on the way. With a triple Oracle opener, ideally you have 2 Oracles to harass across the map, and your third Oracle is to protect your third from a Ling run by, to make sure that this third Nexus gets up and running. So a very safe opener, very versatile opener here from MasTeR. As here we go, the double Oracle is going to rock up here at the third base. Does get 1 drone, 2 drones, 3 drones in total, and keeps every single Oracle alive. Nice moves here by MasTeR. Now that his third base is up and running, he feels safe enough to meet up with the rest of his Oracles and have all 3 of them being active. Meanwhile, the ZergLord, paying attention to what he is doing, does end up getting his Roach Warren, gets a faster lair. But everything is pretty standard so far, and everything is going to get scattered. Oh, with 3 Oracles, you can dive on top of the Queen. Oh, a little bit of miscontrol there. Accidentally clicked on that drone, but he will end up getting that Queen. Will lose an Oracle in the process, though. But you could argue, well worth it. 1 Queen and 3 drones for 1 Oracle? Not bad. Pretty good, actually. So again, nice moves here by MasTeR. He didn't get all the way into the main though, see, so he doesn't have vision on the timing of this lair. Every single gas has been taken. I'm feeling Spire. We saw Spire in the previous game, but no mutas. There was no opportunity to go mutas. But with the way that the ZergLord is droning and with the gas that has been taken, with this base on the way, I still feel like another tech is warranted. Meanwhile, the Oracles barely get away. 1 HP, puppy! 1 HP on that Oracle. Ay, ay, ay. And there it is. We knew that it was coming. It is the Spire. It is 4 mutas. You don't need to take this many gases if you're just going Roach Ravager. Meanwhile, checking the vision of MasTeR, he did see the gases at the third, but he didn't see the gases at the natural. So he has incomplete information, but he has the Oracles, and right now he needs to confirm what the hell is going on. Lair has been spotted. He dips in. Ooh, doesn't go towards... Oh, he's going towards the natural. Oh, he sees the Baneling Nest, and he sees the Spire. He sees everything, even throws down a Revelation just to confirm. And now we have a game of chicken. What do I mean by that? The ZergLord knows he got scattered. He knows that the Spire has been spotted, so now he shouldn't go mutas. And because MasTeR knows that the ZergLord knows that MasTeR knows about the mutas, he shouldn't invest too hard into the Phoenixes. So even though they've scattered each other, they shouldn't be going there, especially because, yo, MasTeR, he's going for this timing. This time MasTeR has Blink. Here we go. We see a tag on the Ravagers. Blink is done. We have plenty of energy for Force Fields as well. The 4th base is under threat. Force Fields are half decent. He's able to shave away a decent amount of these Lings. Well, yo, that 4th base is getting even lower. And again with Blink. Oh my god, the Force Fields are insane. Files are going to be able to deal with them, but we have another massive warp in. The 4th base is 100% going to go down. There is too much Protoss. Again, this is what MasTeR could have done in the previous game. He could have done this. As the base is getting lower, we have a couple of Roach reinforcements. Is it going to be enough? The Biles are going to connect with the Warp Prism. Warp Prism goes down, but is it a little bit too late? We need another wave. No! MasTeR doesn't get it. He wants it. He wants it, but he's going to give up the Immortal to do it. He gets the base. He will be able to blink away. Was it worth it? Was it worth losing all your Immortals? I think so. And now he can turn around and trade even better. The ZergLord, don't push up the ramp. The ZergLord, leaving his army a little bit idle, is going to lose a lot of his Ravagers. And MasTeR can keep on going. Stalkers are good units, especially against Roaches. Roach after Roach are falling left and right. The ZergLord behind this, with his reinforcements, should be enough to hold on. He goes for the double expand. He knows that he needs at least one of these hatcheries to finish. Forces to cancel. And now MasTeR just keeps on going. He will be able to get a couple of these Ravagers. Oh, has to be so careful with the Warp Prism. If he sieges up too soon, he will get biled down again. There we go. No! An unnecessary cancel. He thought he was in range. But here we go. There are just too many Stalkers here. MasTeR is breaking through the defenses. It looks like it may just be too much. The TheZergLord just doesn't have enough. Another blink on forward. Oh, with the reinforcements, has MasTeR overextended? Has he gone too far? The Queens are focusing down the Warp Prism, and they will get the Prism. But not before the Warp In finishes up, and GG gets called. MasTeR takes game number 3. GG. Again, this could have been a 3-0. This should have been game 2. But in game 2, MasTeR forgot his blink. He didn't forget here. He was that much tighter with his build, that much more crisp. And just like that, MasTeR takes a 2-1 lead in this series. GG, GG. Oh, God. I see Neo Shaggy in the chat. Oh, yeah. Light. Toss OP. Oh, my God. Shaking my head, Neo Shaggy. Shaking my head. Oh, God. ARJ Skater. It looks like he wants to do a replay cast, but he doesn't have enough channel points. Papi, come back tomorrow or the day after. Tomorrow we're gonna be live with ESL Open Cup Asia. We're also gonna be live with Who is Amateur King. We have a group that is gonna be played out some later on tonight, actually. And the day after we have Apprentice Esports. So I recommend saving your replay for Apprentice Esports, the Apprentice Esports circuit, not circus. It is an NA based tournament that we are going to be casting on Monday or Sunday night if you're in North America. But enough about that, because here we are still with plenty of Latin American StarCraft, diving into game number 4, where one of our players only needs one more win to be our champion. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE. We have the Brazilian Zerg player himself representing Team Super down in this series. One more loss and he is done. It is TheZergLord. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Brazilian Protoss player himself representing Amantes de StarCraft. Currently up 2-1 in this best-of-5 grand finals. Only needs one more and he will be our champion. It is MasTeR. Let's go. He only needs one more. And I want to give the edge to MasTeR here. Why do I want to give the edge? MasTeR has gone for the same timing in the last 2 games, and it worked well in Berlingrad. Why did it work well? The rush distance. The rush distance is incredibly short on Berlingrad. That means your defense has to be almost perfect as a Zerg player. You cannot make mistakes. And likewise can be said for Blackburn. The rush distance by ground, very short as well. I appreciate that the TheZergLord expanded vertically away from his opponents. Taking this third base can be very difficult to defend, but again, if MasTeR goes for the same push, he's gonna have high chances to make it work. Meanwhile, the TheZergLord has to adapt. He has to adapt to it. What do I mean by that? Last 2 games, the TheZergLord keeps being greedy. He takes all of his gases and throws down a Spire. Mate, stop thinking so far ahead. A Spire is great if the game is going to go on longer, but we keep seeing these timing attacks. We need a much greater focus on Ling Bane Roach Ravager, on your upgrades, and less so on taking up further. Oh boy, we'll see. We'll see if the TheZergLord can adapt in time. As the Cybercore finishes up here for MasTeR, I imagine we're going to be seeing another Stargate as the probe comes out. And there is that Stargate. We had a triple Oracle opener in the previous game. I don't know if I want to see that here. I mean, triple Oracle is never a bad thing, but at the same time, Void Rays will keep the ZergLord in the dark that little bit more. So I kind of want to see him switch things up a little bit here. Oh boy. Meanwhile, shout out to Swim Toss in the chat. Swim Toss, Swim Loss. Good to see a Latin American StarCraft event. If you're interested in Latin American StarCraft, I highly recommend following this channel because, as you can see, this is Sentimiento Latino number 129. This tournament has been running for 129 events. It is a bi-weekly Latin American tournament that has been running ever since 2018. So if you want some more Latin American StarCraft, hit that follow button. We have plenty of Latin American StarCraft on this channel. Sentimiento Latino will be going on a bit of a hiatus next week. Why? DreamHack. DreamHack qualifiers are coming, and if you want the DreamHack Latin American qualifiers, we are going to be casting them here on this channel as well, as we always do. For the past 3 years, we've been casting every single qualifier for DreamHack on this channel. It's all here. We got you, mate. We got you. Meanwhile, ask and you shall receive. We do have a Void Ray opener here from MasTeR. With this Void Ray, the first Overlord goes down, and now the ZergLord is going to be in the dark. MasTeR doesn't have to go for the blink timing. He doesn't have to if he doesn't want to. He is not a one-trick pony. He has other things available to him, and we'll see what he goes for as the third base is on the way here for MasTeR. Twilight Council follow-up, so far the same. But we've seen him go Glaive Adept sometimes, and maybe just to mix things up, he'll go for Glaive Adepts again. Maybe. Of course, it's all times I work like usual, and you don't cast NA ESL anymore. We just don't have the time. Meanwhile, the first Oracle gets across the map, and this mistimed Oracle, because it wasn't an Oracle first, actually gets 5 drone kills. Ooh, left a little bit idle there, though, so it's a bit of a give and take. Oracle does get 5 drones, but for the cost of its life, ideally you want to get around 7 drone kills, but it wasn't the worst trade, wasn't the worst. Meanwhile, these two adepts do not commit to the shade. They don't want to because Glaives is on the way. This is what I was talking about. MasTeR mixing things up, keeping the ZergLord guessing. Glaive adepts are on their way, and the ZergLord, is he ready for them? We do have a wall being set up here, so he's going to be able to full wall off with an Evo chamber, with some buildings. We already have a Roach Warren on the way as well, so Lings and Roaches are going to be produced for the ZergLord. He has the tools that he needs, but is he droning up too much? That is the question. As the ZergLord just made a wave of 10 drones, he's up to 65. This is arguably a little bit too much. We'll see, we'll see. Like, it's a good drone count if he's able to maintain. But this is a lot of, oh my god, there's a lot of adepts. Look at the units tab. 9 Lings. We have 9 Lings right now and 0 Roaches in production. The ZergLord, he's going straight into an infinite. He's being too greedy. No, the adepts are here and there's nothing to defend. There's 9 Lings and 3 Queens. Are we going to see commitment to the shade? We do see commitment. He's going straight for the kill, straight for the throat. Drones are being forced away and drones are going to fall. The ZergLord did not see this coming. He wasn't ready at all. He just kept being greedy, kept droning, and kept taking up as the adepts do shade into the main base as well. Drones after drones are being killed left and right. Look away, Zerg players, look away. The Roaches aren't even enough either. They're trickling in one after the other. It looks like eventually these adepts will be cleaned up, but look how many drones just died. 21. 21, papi. And he's not done. It's not over. He's getting more. Meanwhile, back at home, +1 is on the way. We need Blink. Blink is a little bit delayed. It looks like MasTeR is a little bit too preoccupied focusing on his adept control. I don't blame him. Meanwhile, we have a War Prism on the way. We should be seeing some Immortal being produced as well. Oh my god, this is game-ending damage. And again, the ZergLord, it's on you, buddy. Too greedy. Oh god. And the punishment is more than real. Just like that. Finally, the adepts are cleaned up. Finally, they're all going down after 35 drone kills. Meanwhile, there is Blink. Again, this is late for Blink. It looks like MasTeR was a little bit too preoccupied but I'm sure he's getting excited. He's like, let's go, let's go. I want to pull the trigger. I want to end the game. So Blink will not be a part of this fight, but do you even need Blink? Ravagers on the way, but they're just being morphed in. Oh no, they get spotted. Oh my god, the Vials are going to be able to keep MasTeR at bay for the time being. More Vials are going to be connecting here with all of these force fields, but there are just so many Stalkers, and MasTeR, he can just keep on pushing. Go, puppy, go. There's nothing protecting the Ravagers. Get the Ravagers, puppy. He's going for it. He's going for it. Oh my god, after so long, MasTeR. I have to quickly check here. I don't know if he's been the champion before, but he's looking to be the champion now. He gets on top of every single one of these Ravagers, the Roaches as well. They're trickling in one after the other, and it's not going to be enough. Who needs Blink? GG gets called. Hold on, wrong button. There it is. GG, well played. MasTeR takes game number 4, and he takes the entire series 3-1. Congratulations, MasTeR. Congratulations. After a long, hard-fought tournament. Quickly checking the history here. I was very curious. And yes, I have confirmation. This is MasTeR's second Sentimiento Latino championship. There's been 129 of these, and he has now won his second. And what's important is that both of these championships were this year. Were relatively close, like a month apart. This is what we were talking about at the start of the broadcast. MasTeR, for a long time, has been in the middle of the pack, but this year, in 2022, MasTeR is closing that gap. He has been ranking up, he has been leveling up, and he is now becoming one of the more established players. TheZergLord, he came in as a favorite. Paco Mike came in as a favorite. Both of them were taken down by MasTeR. MasTeR is looking in form, and he is looking to qualify for DreamHack next week. And he could do it. He's looking really good. Congratulations, Papi. Congratulations, MasTeR. Again, there were a couple of moments there where you could see that he was getting like a little bit too anxious, and there were a couple of things that can be worked on. Don't get me wrong, he still has room to grow. But what's important is that he is growing. He is here every single week. Sentimiento Latino, Goodbye Hyperion, all of these weekly tournaments. He is grinding his heart out. And this could be his season. This could be his breakout performance. GG, well played. Meanwhile, I'm just getting confirmation by Darking. Wednesday are the qualifiers for DreamHack Valencia. Wednesday are the qualifiers for Latin America. And that's where all these players are going to come back. As a reminder, Ryu and Eric are 2 Ducklings. They're already seeded into the main event and into the closed qualifier respectively. So they're not going to be a part of the open qualifiers, but the open qualifiers are going to be a bloodbath, mate. There's going to be some big names and people to look out for. Players like MasTeR, players like TheZergLord, players like Tavo, Chaos Fade, Infanson has been popping off as well recently. Eon, especially at the beginning of the year, Eon has been getting some surprising results. Dastan is making his return to competitive play as well. Dastan has been on a very long hiatus for the past year, but he's also back. A lot of big names are going to be a part of this qualifier, and oh boy, it's going to be a bloodbath. But yes, in the end, congratulations to MasTeR, and shout out to all of his fans in the chat. I did see a lot of Brazilian people here. How about Cosmos? Cosmos is a Portuguese caster, but unfortunately he wasn't casting today. I'm pretty sure it's because he has adjusted his sleep schedule for King of Battles. So Cosmos, he's asleep right now. He's gonna be waking up later. Unfortunately, focusing on other tournaments to cast. But yeah, what a what a game, what a series, what a tournament. Wow. GG. And with that, I also want to give a bit of a shout out to Neo. Neo joined me earlier. I know Neo may not have the best English and may not be the most confident in English, but I appreciate that he was able to join me and help me preserve my voice. Massive shout out to Neo for casting with me for the beginning of the tournament. And yeah, congratulations to all of our winners here. Wow. Oh god. And I hope everyone enjoyed themselves in the chat as well. As I quickly have to do some payouts here. Again, I don't blame the fact that TheZergLord was the favorite here in the predictions, but MasTeR is popping off, mate. He is having the time of his career. Oh boy. And we'll see if that continues on. Again, if you want to help support the CranKy Ducklings, and if you want the replay pack for this tournament, then consider subscribing to the channel or helping us out on Patreon. We have our Twitch subscriptions and Patreon set up to help support our tournaments and fund our pro team and fund our tournaments, and you get some things as a result from that, like replay packs and shout outs and stuff like that, and you get to interact with us outside of just the stream. So yeah, if you want to support us there, you can. Otherwise, all we ask is to follow us here on our Twitch channel and on social media as well. You know, we have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. All of our VODs are uploaded to YouTube, so if you maybe want to tune into some previous VODs, some previous tournaments, check out our YouTube channel. It's all there on YouTube. We are up to date on our YouTube uploads, and we are live every single day. Our next broadcast, by the way, is going to be tonight, so this evening, as I quickly update the time here. It is going to be in 9 hours. We're going to be back in 9 hours with some Korean StarCraft. We're going to be casting Team GP's Who is Amateur King, featuring TheZergLord. Yo, TheZergLord's actually going to be there. TheZergLord, who else? Goblin, I think H Quanta, who's a Korean Terran player, and I think Lunacy, Korean Protoss player. So 2 Koreans, a Brazilian, and a Croatian. So if you're interested in that, in our next cast, that's going to be in 9 hours. Meanwhile, if you want some pure Korean StarCraft, in 24 hours, we're going to be here with ESL Open Cup Asia. I'm going to be casting with Yakuzaku. So plenty of StarCraft here on this channel, and we're just gonna have even more once DreamHack starts. Oof. Oh boy. So yes, thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you everyone for the support. We appreciate it. If you want to tune in to more of myself, I'm Light VIP. I stream on my own channel, some ladder sessions, some Final Fantasy 14. But again, if you are only interested in casting in tournaments, then that's here on the CranKy Ducklings. We've been casting StarCraft for many years now, and we're not going to stop anytime soon, especially with DreamHack on the horizon. So with that, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for the support. If you want to continue to support people, we are going to give someone a bit of a raid. Who is streaming right now? That's what I want to know. Who can we raid? Dave Testa is online. Hopsaya, Pili Pili. We may give Pili Pili a raid. Oh, nope. I've decided. We have decisions. We can give Smile a raid or Captain Canuck. One or the other. Smile, he's a Terran player who was playing in today's tournament. Captain Canuck is a fellow friend who is casting an amateur tournament. Regardless, give them both some love. I'll have to flip a coin and decide who to raid. Yeah, stick around, give them some love. We'll give them a bit of a raid and spread all that support. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys in 9 hours. Ciao. Bye.